Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 celebs you didn't know were siblings.
Well, this is my favorite daughter.
Eric, I know I've been a terrible sister.
There's no brother hints here.
For this list, we'll be looking at famous brothers and sisters who you may not have realized are from the same family. Leave us a comment and let us know which ones surprised you the most. Number 10, ARIEL Winter and Jimmy Workman.
I really need to focus. There is a 16-year-old science prodigy studying cancer research at Johns Hopkins. 16! What am I doing? I'm eating cake!
ARIEL is best known for playing Alex Dunphy on Modern Family, and Jimmy's most famous role was playing Pugsley Addams in the Addams Family movies in the early 90s.
Bravo, Pugsley!
And while both those families had their issues, it doesn't compare to the turmoil that ARIEL and Jimmy experienced in their own family.
Pugsley, sit in the chair. Why? So we can play a game.
ARIEL's family battles have been news fodder for years, with her older sister Chanel getting guardianship of Winter following accusations of physical and emotional abuse by their mother. Retired actor Jimmy sided with their mother in the case, and he and ARIEL are also estranged because of it. Number 9, TYNE and Tim Daly.
Honey, it's gonna take some time before it stops feeling like home.
Even though they have the same last name, you may not have connected them together as there is a 10-year age gap between these siblings. Younger television viewers might be more familiar with younger brother Tim, given he was one of the stars of Madam Secretary for 6 seasons on CBS.
Seriously? You had to wind up the anarchist?
Sorry.
Older sister TYNE might not be as familiar to the current generation of TV viewers, but in the 1980s, she won 4 Emmys for her role as Detective Mary Beth Lacey on Cagney and Lacey.
We just got off the phone with Vaughn Gilban's parents. They haven't heard from him since Christmas.
In 2012, the Daly siblings made their political affiliations known by endorsing Democratic U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election campaign, either through donations or discussions with the media. Number 8, Melissa and Sara Gilbert.
Is everything okay?
It might have crossed your mind that the actresses behind Darlene Connor and Laura Ingalls Wilder were related, given that they both have the same family name.
We'd go where the land was more bountiful, he said. And he sold our house and land and cow and packed whatever would fit in the wagon.
But what's interesting about these Gilbert sisters is that neither of them was born with the last name Gilbert.
Mary was afraid to go. But I knew nothing bad could happen as long as we had Pa and Jack.
Melissa was born in 1964 and was put up for adoption. She was immediately adopted by Paul Gilbert and Barbara Crane. After her parents divorced, her mother married Harold Abels, and it's with him that she had her daughter Sarah, born Sarah Rebecca Abels in 1975. In 1984, when she became an actress, Sarah took the last name Gilbert.
And on your way, could you swing by the jail and bail out your dad? What?
Number 7, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
I'm shocked.
While most everyone knows that Charlie Sheen is Martin Sheen's son, fewer folks are aware that Emilio Estevez is another one of Martin's sons and the brother of Charlie. Martin, born Ramon Estevez, changed his name early on in his career, and his son Charlie followed suit when he got into the business. However, in a fun Easter egg, Charlie is credited by his real name, Carlos Estevez, in the film Machete Kills. Emilio, however, decided to keep the family name on and off screen, and he said he was very glad he did so in Latina magazine.
All right. What about your family?
Number 6, Jonah Hill and Beanie Feldstein.
But with Booksmart, it was so interesting because often the questions were pretty simple and pretty just like, so you're Jonah's sister, this is a female Superbad.
Here we have another example of one sibling changing, or rather leaving behind their family name and another keeping it. Jonah Hill was born Jonah Hill Feldstein, but decided to go by his middle name for showbiz, while Booksmart actress Beanie has kept her family name while pursuing her career.
But the irresponsible people who partied also got into those colleges. They did both.
Why did Jonah decide to drop his last name, you ask? Well, others have asked as well, and Jonah has never really answered the question.
What's up? What's up?
What we do know is that it is in no way an attempt to distance himself from his sister, as he's shown up at one of her movie premieres with a Beanie's brother jacket and has even tattooed her name on his arm. Number 5. Warren Beatty and Shirley MacLaine. When siblings have different last names, it's usually because one of them decided to go with different ones.
That's right.
But in this case, Warren and Shirley both use stage names that differ from the names they were given at birth. Older sister Shirley was born Shirley MacLaine Beatty, but when a producer was constantly mispronouncing her family name, she dropped it and also altered the spelling of MacLaine.
You are not special enough to overcome a bad marriage.
As for younger brother Warren, he kept Beatty but added a second T when he became an actor. Both siblings have won Oscars, although we don't think the name changes had anything to do with it.
We all came down here, Bush, Clinton, Wilson, all of us. We got our pictures taken, told you what you wanted to hear, and we pretty much forgot about it.
Number 4. Lily and Alfie Allen. This one shouldn't come as a surprise to Lily Allen fans, given that a song called Alfie, which is about her younger brother, appeared on her 2006 debut album. In the track, she admonishes her bro for what she perceives as his idleness, smoking pot, and television viewing. She also tells him to go find work. Well, we don't know if the tune had any influence on Alfie's ambition, but just 5 years later, after auditioning for the role of Jon Snow, he was cast as Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones.
You may be right. I've gone too far to pretend to be anything else.
His profile has risen exponentially since then, and he even has an Emmy nomination to his name. Number 3. Chris and Scott Evans. Did you know that Captain America has a younger brother and he's a cop?
I don't want to.
Okay, so Scott Evans isn't really a cop, but he played a police officer on One Life to Live. And if he wasn't an actor, he would have wanted to be a homicide detective.
Chris, what would Scott be if he weren't an actor? Okay, if he weren't an actor, it would be, I know this, it would have something to do with, police work.
These days, Scott has a recurring role on the Netflix show Grace and Frankie, while Chris continues to shine as one of the biggest stars in Hollywood.
Who are you supposed to be?
Captain America.
We aren't sure how they even have time for all their projects while also putting time into their epic scare competition on social media.
Chris!
Number 2. Blake and Robyn Lively. Blake and Robyn are half-sisters and have a 15-year age gap between them, so it might not be so crazy that you didn't realize they were siblings. Both women became popular at relatively young ages, although with two completely different generations of fans.
Hey Louise, why don't you ride to school with us? Love to.
Robyn was 17 when the 1989 film Teen Witch was released, and Blake made her debut on Gossip Girl almost 2 decades later in 2007, when she was 20.
See, the problem is, but by the time I got the invitation, I actually already had plans.
And although the last name does hint at their family relationship, it's interesting to note that Blake was actually born Blake Brown. Blake took her mother Elaine's surname, which Elaine got from her previous marriage, when she started acting.
You're like my sister.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Florence Pugh and Toby Sebastian.
But I could try, yes I could try, no I try, yes I try, how I try.
When Toby Sebastian fans saw that his new song Midnight featured Florence Pugh, they probably wondered why the actress was appearing on the record. Well, now we all know. Toby, who by the way was born Sebastian Toby M. Pugh, is Florence's older brother. Pugh has seen her star skyrocket during the late 2010s and early 2020s. 2021 will see her make her MCU debut in Black Widow.
You're thinking about moving, but you're gonna wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story.
And we also have another Game of Thrones connection here, as Sebastian is probably best known for his role as Trystane Martell in Season 5 and 6 of the HBO show.
I'm going to ask you tomorrow.
What if he says no?
He won't.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.